Namaskar, Honorable Minister for Urban Affairs, Sri Hardeep Singh Puriji, Excellency Ambassador for Denmark, Sri Ajay Mathur, President Griha Council and Director General TERI, Sri Sanjay Seth, and other dignitaries, my dear sisters and brothers. It is with great pleasure I join you at this Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment Summit. The commitment of Griha to forgo partnership, both nationally and internationally, is seen in the multitude of partners, stakeholders, and delegates present on this platform today. You are all aware the Government of India is making a determined effort to transform India into a holistically sustainable nation with the involvement of all stakeholders. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is the vision of New India with an aim to make the country and its citizens independent and self-reliant in all spheres. We just now heard the Honorable Minister explaining the progress that is being made in this regard and also various transformational, promotional, developmental schemes in the urban development. We are all aware there is a massive migration going on towards urban areas from the rural. And as we are all aware that the number of people living in urban areas will be increasing. According to World Green Building Council, building and construction account for 39% of the energy and related CO2 emissions in the world. We have to accelerate the process of total decarbonization of the built environment. It will be taken upon priority. Second, there are a lot of buildings that will exist in India in 2030 are yet to be built. So there is a need for concerted and coordinated efforts from all stakeholders to ensure the use of construction material that is environment friendly, and the buildings are energy and resource efficient as well. It should not only be sustainable, should not jeopardize the ability of future generations to meet their needs. The Central Public Works Department has committed that all new buildings in India will be greener. Similar commitments have been made by other government construction agencies. This is all about government. But private also should join it in a big way. I am happy that private sector developers have also committed that their future construction will be Griha compliant. I really compliment them. I strongly feel that we should consider making every future building to go green, mandatory, and it should apply to all kinds of buildings. Central government, state government, provincial government, local body, panchayat, every building should go green. That is the future. Otherwise, there is every danger. You all know what is happening on the climate change front. We must promote the use of renewable energy, promote waste reduction, and encourage the use of environment-friendly local material. Low carbon technologies has to be extensively promoted, as well as green building must use fewer resources and reduce greenhouse gas emissions drastically. My dear friends, traditionally our ancestors have been using nature-friendly material and designs in construction of dwelling units. However, we seem to have forgotten this climate responsive architectural designs refined over thousands of years. Now it's time again we go back to our civilization. Our ancient civilization values teach us to live in harmony with nature. I have always said that we should love and live with the nature and follow our age-old culture. That is the path for a better future. Nature, culture, together for better future. Sustainable buildings are an important component in building resilient communities. And sustainable architecture is Indian tradition. Ancient Indian civilization has always respected the environment. It's high time for us to change our approach and ensure design and construction practices that are more sustainable and resilient. By restoring traditional practice of construction and embracing green technology, it's possible to re-navigate the building sector and encourage harmonious living with the natural environment. Climate change is real. I need not dwell on that. It's evident, it's staring at us. We are neglecting nature. That's why there is reaction. We have to strike a balance between economic development and environmental protection. Economy and ecology can coexist if one respects nature. I would like to underline, economy and ecology can coexist if one respects nature. This year has been tremendously affected due to pandemic. The world has been frequently witnessing a number of natural calamities. There is an absolute need to reorient our approach to development, as the decisions we make today will have repercussions for beyond our lifetimes. And we talk about sustainable architecture and design, we have to use local, naturally available resources and eco-friendly building material. The nation is passing through a critical juncture and facing many challenges. Innovative solutions and initiatives will be invaluable in tackling present problems from the coronavirus to climate change. I would like to congratulate the Graha Council on the launch of the upgraded version of its rating system, the Graha version 2019, as well as the annual Sahaswat magazine and the book documenting the extensive collaboration between Graha Council and the Public Works Department, Government of Maharashtra. Every state must have this sort of partnership. It gives me great pleasure to learn that over the past year, despite pandemic, Graha Council has continued unabated in its endeavor to promote the sustainable long-view agenda. I would like to congratulate Graha Council on the development of the Building Fitness Indicator, BFI tool, a free-to-use self-assessment tool that allows organizations to measure the preparedness of workplaces to prevent exposure to COVID-19. We must utilize the light, the air, and we must have really such buildings where you have enough light, enough air circulation. This is one lesson the COVID has taught us. If the air is circulated within, then infections are likely to increase and affect more. So, this is an aspect of not only environment, it's a wide range of human rights, including the right to life, safety, food, water, and sanitation are all included in this. The theme of this year's summit is regenerating resilient habitats. The event centers on preparedness and the need to build infrastructure that is resilient in the event of disaster. Now more than ever, it is imperative to strike a balance between social development and economic growth. The Prime Minister has given a call for reform, perform, and transform. Transformation in every walk of life. Transformation in the lives of the people. As it was explained that urban areas contribute 65% of the GDP. It will increase to 70% by 2030. Unprecedented expansion that will change the economic, social, and environmental landscape of India. At least half of country's population will live in towns and cities by 2050, creating a lot of pressure on housing sector and infrastructure and green solutions will have to be developed to meet the emerging needs. The main motto of the Government of India is to make cities livable centers of growth. The Smart City Mission is intended to promote cities and provide core urban infrastructure and give a decent quality of life. What is needed is not only comfort, but also happiness, clean and green will lead us to sustainable environment. India has the potential to lead the global green building. The central government, the state government, the local bodies all need to join together. It's a responsibility. It should become a people's movement. It cannot be left to government alone. People should take this as a mission and promote this. There's a need to promote green building concept by both the private sector and the government. The Finance Commission and local bodies should encourage green buildings through various measures, including tax incentives. I feel that roof cooling should be an area of priority for all of us. In India, over 60% of roofs are made from metal, asbestos, and concrete, thus tapping heat inside buildings and contribution to heat island effect in urban areas. Currently, less than 10% of India households have air conditioning units, but this percentage is expected to rise substantially with the improvement in living standards and rise in temperature due to global warming. This has to be understood. Cool roofs will offer you a cool life. Simple and cost-effective solution that can lower indoor temperature by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius as compared to traditional roofs. Simple techniques such as lime-based paint, reflective coatings, or membranes can reflect the sunlight and reduce heat absorption. This can very effectively go for low-income households and slums in urban areas. I understand that pilot studies have been conducted in Hyderabad and Telangana. Is rolling out a cool roof program for the entire state. If implemented effectively, it can reduce the heat stress in homes and offices and bring down the dependence on all air conditions. All states must study this, the initiative of Telangana, and try to take it up in their respective states. We must learn from others' experience. I'm happy that Excellency Ambassador Denmark has made very much progress in this. It's a model country as far as this climate change is concerned. And also they made a lot of developments in urban sector. In fact, I wanted to go to Denmark, but somehow that tour was postponed for some reason or other at that time. We are a huge country, India. There are many challenges before us. These challenges cannot be met by the government alone. I want to stress this. So that's why all stakeholders in private and public sector should join hands in this endeavor. Reports show that the implementation of Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Energy Conservation Building Code, ECBC, has not been uniform across the nation, with only 15 states and 2 urban territories, union territories, notifying the code so far. I'm happy to note that the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh have taken a lead in this regard. There is a need to launch mass media campaign on the advantages of building green homes, as there is a lack of awareness among the people about green building concept. For capacity building at local level, customized training programs are required for the architects, engineers, government officials, and builders in energy efficient buildings. All states should consider creating online portals and provide single window clearance to green buildings. Architects must focus on this. What is required is comfort, not fashion. And also the fashion should be locally tailor-made, keeping in mind the requirements of the local area, the climate conditions. They should plan and advise people to follow such plans. I once again thank you all for inviting me to the inauguration of this year's Griha Summit. Griha in India, in our language, means house. A very good name that way. I wish Griha Council all the best for this event. and also for the future endeavors. I'm happy that this sort of a summit is taking place. It will provide space for interactions, understanding each other best practices, follow the same for your future, and at the same time move on. I would like to again stress on the issue nature, culture, together for better future. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.